Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Shri Radhe. Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, everyone. We will now have Krishna Katha by Lalita Sakhi Mataji. So please, everyone, just sit in front of her facing this way. Thank you.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Giri Baradari Jaya Giri Baradari. Jaya Giri Baradari. Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Giri Baradari Jaya Giri Baradari. Yashoda Nandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana. Yashoda Nandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Giri Baradari Jaya Giri Baradari. Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Giri Baradari Jaya Giri Baradari. Yashoda Nandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunjabihari Jaya Kunjabihari Vanachari Jaya Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shiv Radhe. Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman. Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande.
Hare Krishna. So, who's coming here for the first time? Everyone's been here. First time? Okay, you familiar with Krishna, right? That's good, because sometimes people listen to about Krishna stories for the first time. It's a bit difficult to digest, so. We haven't got very much time. We have to finish by 5:02 because the curtains will open. So today I was meant to talk about the deliverance of Nalakuvera and Manigriva. Anyone know that story? You know the story, right? Yeah, that's the story we're going to discuss today. For the month of Kartik, the whole month of Kartik, we have a pastime every night, 6:20 to 7 or 5 to 7, depicting the stories of Radha Damodara on the altar. And today we're going to talk about how he was bound to the grinding mortar and how he released the two brothers, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, from being cursed by Narada Muni. So we'll chant a little invocation to praise the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavari Pastyachadi Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll just get straight into the story, because there's much, I brought notes and all that, but I remember the story, so I'll tell it from memory. So this is a story recited by Narada Muni himself. Everyone know who Narada Muni is, right? They call him the spiritual spaceman. He travels he's got like a benediction to travel to different parts of the world, the spiritual world. Sometimes he comes down to the material world when there's ecstatic Harinam chanting. We haven't got the eyes to see, but they do come. So once Narada Muni was making his rounds in the demigod planet, and he was in the vicinity of Kuvera. Kuvera is the treasurer of the demigods. Very opulent, very rich, lots of money. And he had 2 sons. And normally, when people are rich, when parents are rich, then the children normally take advantage of this. Some children may be good, they may use the money, properly, but others may abuse, squander the money. And mostly the money is used for like womanizing, gambling, intoxication, like that. So when these boys, they chose a very beautiful park. In Kailash, there is a garden, beautiful garden, where most of the demigods go and have their pastimes there, beautiful lakes. So these 2 boys, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they've decided to go to this beautiful Ganges, that's Ganges. They were swimming in this water, and they were all naked. They were naked with the young girls, and the girls were naked as well. They were intoxicated from drinking wine, and they were playing, enjoying themselves, not thinking of anything, just having a good time. In the material world, these things happen, when there's nice weather, when we are happy, we want to look for the best places to go to. We want to go to the beach, we want to go to some theme park or another country, always looking for nice places to go to. So these boys spent their time here. And then lo and behold, Narada Muni was passing by at this particular time while they were in the water. But the boys, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were so intoxicated, they didn't realize that Narada Muni, a very pure, saintly person, was going by. And they didn't cover themselves. They completely were stark naked. They were still playing in the water. But the girls, they were a little conscious about what they were doing, and they covered themselves. So Narada Muni took compassion on these boys because their father, Kuvera, had a very responsible position in the in the demigod planet, and he was very respectable. So he thought he needs to help these boys, So he thought, like, in the material world, these are what spoiled children do. All they do is they want to enjoy. So when there's opulence, when there's lots of opulence and someone's rich, they lose their intelligence. Then they take to gambling and, intoxication and womanizing, or get into sex life. So he was saying, this is not the proper etiquette or the morality of, demigods living in higher planets. They should have more intelligence than living in the material world, although the material world is still connected to the demigod planets. It's explained in one verse in Bhagavad Gita, from the highest planet to the lowest planet, from Lord Brahma to the end, all places are conditioned to birth, death, old age, and disease. In the demigod planet, the demigods, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Indra, Chandra, all the demigods, they might have a longer span of life, but still they got to leave their bodies because it's considered a material platform as well. So these boys were, because they were the son of a very respectable king and Brahmin, so they were cursed to be born as trees. But Narada Muni was very kind, very compassionate. Because they were the sons of Kuvera, then he kind of gave them a boon at the same time. So, you tell me, I forgot your son's name. Jayadev, you know what birth did they take? Trees, yeah. So they took, where did they take the birth, you know? In the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, wasn't it? So yeah, Narada Muni was very kind, very compassionate. So he gave a boon that these two boys remain as twin Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Very, very, very good boon, which will liberate them in due course of time. So, as they were there, in the meantime, Krishna, I don't want to get into the other story, there's so many different stories. For 30 days, they're going to say different stories. This is about the grinding mortar. Everyone knows what's a grinding mortar, right? Yes? Okay, you don't know? A grinding mortar is on the altar where Krishna is standing behind him. That's the mortar. They stamp grains and, make yogurt. So anyway, little Krishna is very, very naughty when he was little. He's so naughty that his mother sometimes ties him up. So once he was tied to this grinding mortar. But Krishna, being the supreme personality of Godhead, whether he's a child, he's a teenager, he's an adult, in any circumstances, he knows everything. He's the Supreme Lord, so he knows everything. So he was only a child at this point when he was tied to this grinding mortar behind him with a rope. So eventually, he pulled himself. He didn't pull, he loosened himself, and he started crawling towards the trees. You can imagine a child. How many months was he then? Probably around 8, 9 months, Raj? Yeah, he was a baby. And this big, sorry? No, he was crawling on his hands. And then the grinding mortar, fell to the side, and it was horizontal. It lay on his side, so he was going. So what he did was he went in between these two trees, and this grinding mortar was behind him. It was a little bigger, so he couldn't go through. So he had to tug forward and backwards to get through the trees. Eventually, he pulled so hard. Imagine an 8-month-old baby, a little baby, doing that. That's why we can't tell these stories. Prabhupada says you read the 9 cantos first, you understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness before you come to the 10th canto, because the stories there are too far-fetched. It's very difficult for us to digest or understand. One time, my husband's brother, he read one story in the Krishna book, and that was about Putana, the witch Putana. If you read Krishna book, she was feeding Krishna poison milk, and it was explained in that story that when she took a real form, she was 8 miles long, and all the trees were falling when she got a real form. And he said, my brother-in-law, he said, what is wrong with you guys? Because he had no devotion, he had no faith. Faith is needed, you know. And he was saying, you must be in cuckoo land if you think the story is true. So you can see, like, the materialists, they have very limited vision in understanding who God is. If God is the supreme, then he can do anything. Whether he's a baby or an adult, he can do anything he likes. Anyway, Krishna tugged so hard, the 2 trees fell over, and out of those 2 trees came these 2 beautiful effulgent forms of Nalakuvera and Manigriva. They were so dazzlingly bright, like the sun. They were so bright. And but although they were cursed, they were also given the benediction by Narada Muni to remember what happened previously, to remember how they were in the water, what they did, actually the offenses they made to Narada Muni, they remembered. And also they remembered that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though they knew, they still, abused their father's wealth and riches due to pride. So then they said some beautiful, I just want to read 1 or 2 of the prayers. They created some beautiful prayers to the Supreme Lord. Dhruva Maharaj, I don't know if anyone knows the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj as well, he couldn't speak when he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he left home because his father wouldn't put him on his lap. And he said he wanted riches more than his grandfather. He wanted to leave home. But when he saw the Supreme Lord, he couldn't speak. So the conch shell was touched to his head, and the words flowed from his mouth in glorification of the Supreme Lord. And then there's a special book called the Dhruva Samhita, where Dhruva Maharaj is glorifying the Supreme Lord. So there's other really great saints as well. Can you remember anyone else? Brahma, Lord Brahma also. Lord Brahma created the Brahma Samhita. He was so taken by the compassion and causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord that the Brahma Samhita was spoken. And that's all about glorification of the Supreme Lord. Beautiful stories. Yeah, beautiful prayers. So I'll just read 1 or 2 of this. We can just think about it as well, because they say here, Dear Lord Krishna, you are the original personality of Godhead, master of all mystic powers. Learned Brahmanas know very well that this cosmic manifestation is an expansion of your potencies, which are sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. And he also says, you are the original provider of life, body, and the senses of all living entities. There's a whole page here. I won't read the whole page. I'll just read. He says at the bottom, O Lord, O source of all fortune and goodness, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you. You are the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of peace and Supreme Person in the dynasty of King Yadu. O Lord, our father, known as Kuvera, the demigod, is your servant. Similarly, the great sage Narada is also your servitor. Only by their grace have we been able to see you personally. So it's explained that if we take advantage of a pure devotee, a saint, like Narada Muni was a pure devotee, and if you see a pure devotee once, it says here in the same story that you can get liberation immediately. That's the potency, the purity. So Krishna said to the two boys, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, now that you learned your lesson from this, what you have done, and you've realized that this is not the right way to live your life, you can go back to your abode, to your father, remain for some time there, finish your life, and you'll be liberated in this lifetime. Once you finish, you'll go back home, back to Godhead. So Krishna personally, they saw Krishna face to face, and he personally gave them that boon that they will go back home, back to Godhead. So in that way, it's nearly 5:2. So, therefore, O Nala, Kuvera, and Manu, your lives have now become successful because you have developed ecstatic love for me. This is your last birth within material existence. Now you can go back to your father's residence in the heavenly planet, and by remaining in that attitude of devotional service, you will be liberated in this very life. After this, the demigods circumambulated the Lord many times and bowed down before him again and again, and thus they left. The Lord remained bound up with ropes to the grinding mortar. So everything is happening outside the house. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, they're busy doing something. Baby is tied outside. All these pastimes are happening. And then after the story, Kuvera and Manigriva went back, and then he remained tied up to the grinding mortar. And then the parents come and a big hoo-ha, they want to find out how the trees came down. Then they, create whole big stories about what happened. Is our son a demigod, or who is he? Sometimes they get bewildered themselves. So any quick questions you have? It's 5:2. No question, you understood, yeah? So we need faith. We need faith in the process of Krishna consciousness. If we have faith and love for Krishna, love and faith from deep within, it cannot be like an external thing, from deep within. How we love our wife, our children, our husband, like that. That's material, but a similar thing is explained, the example of the love for a mother to a baby. The relationship for a mother and a child is the closest to loving God. So if we can give that love and affection to God and have that faith that he can do anything, and, can make miracles and relieve us of all our pain, all our sins. We have to have that faith and determination. 3 things: conviction, determination, and faith. Conviction, determination, and faith. If you carry these 3 with you about God, you can never go wrong. But you have to persevere and have one-track mind. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for listening. Shantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Krishna book, Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
You have nothing. You just said you don't. You have no money, no food, you're dying here. Join the temple.
But I have big family and properties in India. Why will I join ashram here?
When you joined for 10 years in India, why not here?
But
It's an idea for you. Maybe it will make you away from sex and Krishna consciousness more again. Brahmachari. Brahmachari mode, and then you'll find your Krishna again.
जय श्री श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की नमामि शोरं साक्षी आनन्दरूपं लसत्कुन्दं To the Supreme Lord, whose form is embodiment of external existence, knowledge and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully singing in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter, and then stealing the butter and that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the golden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by who ran after him with great speed. To the Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not by the rope but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that is only conferred by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kind of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal revelation, nor the higher liberation of external life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon, which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bal Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use of any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tangled with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like a bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering a glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor, ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriv and Nanga Kuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into the great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with a rope to the wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no other desire of any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer my all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes. Shri Radha Damodar Bhagavan ki.
Namaste Narasingaya. Namaste Narasingaya. Lada Dayane Hiranyakasi Urvakshay Yatankana Kalai Sita Hiranyakashipu गुरुदेव भगवान की, राधा दामोदर की, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, ओ निताई की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।